Painkiller Ghosts, Chapter 2, Snapshots of Suzanne. Time, at the breakfast table the next morning, says to Mama, "I think I'm going crazy." "Why is that, Time?" "I've been hearing things." "Things?" "Noises. Last night I got out of bed and walked downstairs to open the front door to let the dog out." "What dog?" That's right, that's what I'm saying. I got up and I walked down to the door and I opened it and stood there for a minute looking at the moon. And I even think I heard a collar. So then I closed the door and I felt happy. It was weird. It was a weird feeling. I felt better, but I also felt like I'd seen a ghost, but I didn't see anything at all. Suzanne blows on her tea, listens to the news on the radio until the next story starts, one that she's uninterested in. And she puts her hand on Time's hand and says, "You're not crazy. There are things we don't comprehend, that we don't see, but that's okay. You just have to accept it." "Accept what?" "That you don't understand." Oh. He stares at her, blankly. "Time, let me ask you this." "Shoot." "You said you felt better after doing that, hearing it last night." "Right. Do you know what I call things like that?" "No. What?" "Painkiller ghosts." "Oh, thanks, Mama." "You're welcome. I need to go to work. I'll be out late tonight. Don't wait up." And she walks out of the front door, and he can hear her gun her engine, and hears a horn honking, and then he hears her horn and her tires squeal on the street. And it is just another morning for Mama. And Time is still in the kitchen, wondering if he's lost his mind and thinking about painkiller ghosts. Time's mother's eyes are the color of the newest ivy sprigs in April. She's had rich lovers and starving artists. One father of her children was a businessman. Another was a sculptor, saving every dollar for cigarettes or maybe the electric bill. She drives fast and enjoys surviving car wrecks, not the cheapest of thrills she knows, but the cracking glass and the screaming, twisting metal makes her giddy. She wakes up early to drink yerba mate. She likes to smell it as the sun comes up. She likes to drink 3 cups before she leaves the house. She reads mystery novels and then throws them in the fireplace when she's done. In her spare time, Saturday mornings, Sunday evenings, she works on her own mystery novel, typing on her laptop, typing a mystery to become someone else's fireplace fodder. She knows what it's like when a man falls in love with her. And that's the time she knows she must get rid of him. Tell him not to come back, not to call. She was never disappointed by any of her children. They all at some point fell in love and assumed she would be disappointed. They'd known her to avoid it, love, all their lives. Time points out one morning that all of his siblings thought the same thing. "We just assumed that you think we'd be weak or were weak since we were in love." "Why would you think that, honey?" I don't know, Mama. It's just that none of us ever wanted to disappoint you. And none of you did, ever. She says, "I think that love would make me weak. It makes some people strong, but I just haven't found the love in me yet. Maybe one day I will. We can all be wrong, right? Maybe one day I'll change." Time thinks she had brown eyes, but that was years ago. Suzanne has her own ideas about pain and regret and remorse, and she believes in killing painful memories with smiles. She believes in painkiller ghosts. She misses a lot of people. She wishes she could hear some of those people again, their voices, their sneezes, just the sound of someone's keys being thrown onto the counter. Mama hopes Time will be able to find his own path to painlessness. It can be a long road. Mama's mother had died 30-some years ago. The cause was never clear. She and her father haven't spoken in more than half that time. She tried to send him a Christmas card once in a while, and it always came back, returned to sender, unopened. She thinks he's moved, maybe to a trailer in southern Alabama, but he hasn't been seen since Katrina. He's gone by now, she feels, either by that storm or just age. He'd be over 80 by now and never ate well and smoked and drank too much. Over the years, she just assumed that he was gone, and she thought that that would be the best thing for her and for her kids, to just act like he was dead, even if he wasn't. In airports, especially when she used to travel a lot, she'd always scan the local obituaries for a name of his. But what if she found her father's funeral announcement in an airport on an April afternoon, awaiting a flight to Atlanta? Would she exchange her ticket? No, she wouldn't. But she doesn't spend too much time thinking about that, about fathers, and definitely not too much energy. She's forgotten what her own father looked like. She knows she should know, it's just that she doesn't want to remember. She just doesn't care. But sometimes she ponders if her father is dead. She wonders, does he wander? Does he wander around this area where she was a little girl and he would walk up and down this very sidewalk to work, change clinking together in his pocket, and she remembers that when he would get home from work, walking home after dark, and she, Suzanne, would run to meet him, and she'd hug him, and then hold out her hands, and he'd empty out the pennies that were the change from the lunch he had bought somewhere, and she'd run off, counting her pennies, and show her dolls, and then she would hear her mother say hello to her father. But that was back when her mother was alive, and her father was too. Suzanne likes having a man touching her. The men come over, they come, they go. She locks the door when they leave, turns off the front light before the car even starts. She likes it like that. She likes her tea alone in the morning. She likes to have the whole bed to herself. She doesn't want a man to wake her in the morning looking to do it again. Not before her shower, not before her news. The men will tell her that when she brushes against them, they feel like kings. One glance from those green eyes melt them, and she knows it. She doesn't mind them falling for her, but she tells them that she won't love them. It just doesn't happen. She enjoys the company for a while. Often, one man is smitten in the foyer, undressing, and another is texting her, telling her he's coming over. She drives her car fast. She drives time around when she has the time. She says, if time's all you got now, time, I'm not going to let you waste it by driving slowly. Every few weeks she'll say this again like it's the first time she's thought of it, and he'll fiend like he's never heard it before. Time, if there's one thing that I know, is that you were conceived in one of my cars. It wasn't moving at the time, I doubt, though maybe, but you were made on a noon drive. It was a beautiful day. The sky was blue, and we were taking turns faster than ever. That might explain your blue eyes. Besides time, blue eyes are all he's got now. And 3 pennies, of course. 3 pennies poor.